We live. We got 40 people. Let's see who pull up in here and put it in park. Yeah, listen. Okay, I see some people coming in. I see Frank. What's up, Frank?
Hello.
Twilla, what's good? Jamaica, what's good? Okay, so Ken and Nicole, if everybody could stay on mute, we're about to crank this thing up about 3 minutes. This is actually our first time doing this type of coaching, and this is actually, so if you haven't been to any of these type of things with me, my name is Jabez. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We let people pull up in here. We're gonna crank this thing up in a couple minutes. I see Jacinda, then Teresa. I see you, Teresa Pope. What's up? And man, so what the purpose of this call is, I wanted to do a free coaching call. One, because if you don't know me, my name is Jabez. I go to help over 1 million people get down to their natural body size and stay there for life, because I lost 100 pounds. And matter of fact, hold on, I'm coming right back. I just realized I forgot something. We about to crank this thing up in a second. Hold up. I'm coming right back, because I just realized I forgot my picture. But so I lost 100 pounds, but I did it still eating the food I like to eat. So look, this was me in 2014. My whole thing is helping people lose weight without giving up food they love. So this is why I wrote my book, Life Matters, so Let's Eat Like It. I wrote this to explain how I did it. And I'm actually, right now, this is a Zoom call that we're doing, but I'm also going live on 5 different phones. So you can see the phones. You see the phones up there, everything, my Instagram and all of that. And then this is the Zoom call that people register. So now, just so you know, what we're doing is, this is actually a coaching call. So this is the same type of coaching that I do that people pay for. But I wanted to do this free because I have a special offer that we're actually announcing today for the first time. We created something that I'm so excited about, that I know is going to be so helpful. And so I was like, okay, what's the best way to do this? I was like, let me just give out game, do a free coaching call. And at the end, I present the offer. If you want to do it, it's all good. If not, it's all love. And then what I'll do at the end of that, we're going to do a 30-minute question. I want to answer some questions at the end. So if that makes sense, what I want to do is I want to communicate through the chat. So I would like for everybody to stay on mute and communicate through the chat. Same with on social media. If it makes sense what I just said, drop a 4 in the chat. If it makes sense what to expect on this call, drop a 4 in the chat. Kimberly, what's up? Yeah, I want to see who locked in. Okay, Keita, what's good? Okay, nice. Okay, so we're good. All right, so what I'm going to be going over is, I lost 100 pounds because I became a Naturalite. And so I want to explain what a Naturalite is, and I'll give out exactly how I lost the weight and how you could do the same thing using the same strategies. So we're going to go over that. And then also what I'm going to do, I'm going to really kind of like, after that, I want to drive home how important it is to read the ingredients. You see, I'm wearing a shirt, One thing about a Naturalite knows the ingredients matter. If you got to go to lose weight, I suggest take notes, especially when it comes to like identifying the wrong version of the food that you like to eat. I'll explain it, and identifying the better version. Go ahead and write that down so you can remember. And then, especially for the people that can hold themselves accountable, you're going to get results from this coaching. So I suggest, locking in. And so I want to drive in that, why the ingredients matter. And then I want to wrap the meeting up and kind of like touch on mindset. Because in my opinion, that's the most important part of this whole situation is mindset. So we're going to touch on that. And then after that, I'm going to give the offer. And I'm gassed up about it. I'll tell you, I'm gassed up about what we created. It's like, it's tripping me out. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to do Q&A. So I want to answer questions for 30 minutes. So it'll be like 60 minutes of coaching and then 30 minutes of Q&A. Can't you to be quiet. That's my dog in the background. I apologize. And then, so if anybody got any questions, as I'm going through the coaching, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. All right. And what my wife is going to be looking through them comments and taking notes of the questions. And then at the end, we'll get to the questions, and you could drop them in the comments at the end too. And we'll run it like that. All right. About to crank this thing up. What time is it? I said 6:04. I see we got, I don't know how many, about 100 people on the live, on the Zoom. So let's crank this thing up. All right, so first of all, I want to say it like, I want to start it off like this. Like, so my weight loss journey, it really started in 2014. So this was me in 2014. I was 100 pounds overweight, but I started gaining weight before then. I started gaining weight like when I was around 27. The weight started coming up on me. And it was like, as it was coming up on me, in my mind, I believed the main reason why I was gaining so much weight is because I was eating too much fast food. So I would try things and lose some weight and then gain it back, lose some weight and then try something else, lose some weight, gain it back. And a lot of times when I was trying to do the things that I thought would help me to lose weight, I didn't really want to do them, but I was doing them and wanted to lose weight. If anybody can relate to that, drop a 4 in the chat. If you can relate to feeling like, I know I got to do something to lose the weight, but I don't really want to do it, but I got to do it. Deb, I see, man. Elder, what's good? Okay, Teresa, good. A lot of people can relate. So that's what I was going through. I was going through that exact scenario. And the good news is, if you're over, I want you, the way I was, like, I used to kind of beat myself up when I would start something and start getting results and then stop doing it and then lose what I had going for myself. And then I get down on myself mentally, like, man, why ain't more disciplined and da 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 da. If you ever felt like that, drop it in the chat. Because I want to know, because what I'm trying to do is right now, what I'm talking about is mindset. And it's one of the 3 things that I really want to drive home on this call. Maria, what's up, Deb? Okay, good. So a lot of people can relate. That's what's up. So this is the thing, right? I want you to go ahead and release that, because if you're overweight right now, it's not your fault. I blame it's the big food companies, man. It's how much heavily processed food is legal to sell in this country, and how prevalent it is everywhere, and how intentional you got to be to avoid it. So it's like when you look around in the grocery stores, it's like 80% of the food options is trash. Like 80% of this country is overweight because 80% of the food options is gonna have you overweight, even if you just eat a regular amount. And then it's designed to make you want to keep on eating. So if you've had that type of feeling, like you've been getting down on yourself, let that go. Because but now after this coaching call, once you understand what to look for in the grocery store, and I'm about to get into that now. Once you understand what to look for in the grocery store, you can start making better choices. And then at that point, it's on us. All right? If it makes sense what I just said, drop a 4 in the chat. All right? We don't know what we don't know. They hide the truth in the ingredients, and they got slick little ways about it. But the truth is in there. All you got to do is know what to look for. Okay, I see y'all. All right, so let's crank it up. Let me get into it. So the first thing what I want to talk about is fast food. Me personally, the whole time, like, I was kind of put on the weight. I was eating fast food, especially and sometimes I'd eat it twice a day. And I seen probably around 2003, 2004, I feel like it was around that time, I seen a documentary called Super Size Me. And you ever seen that documentary? Drop it yes in the chat. Who's seen that documentary, Super Size Me? It's kind of older now. I'm 42. Okay, so people seen it. So when I seen the documentary, Super Size Me, right? That's how it got into my mind that, okay, because the way he did the documentary, the dude went around eating McDonald's meals for a whole month. 30 days straight, he ain't eating nothing but McDonald's for his lunch and dinner. And he got all the meals supersized. So he ate all of them every day and gained 20 pounds in 30 days. And so during the documentary, he was explaining like how they make the bread and what's going on with the meat and the chicken nuggets and how bad the whole situation is. Like, he was going through all of that. And so from watching that documentary, it got into my mind like, okay, dang, no wonder America's so overweight. It's the fast food. And everybody was eating fast food. That's how, Supreme. My bad, because my dog crying in the background is bothering me. Supreme or Buddha? Buddha! Come and get Kane, please, because he's sitting there crying. I'm trying to do this coaching call. Can you come get him now? And make him stay up there like, Kane, you need to be quiet, right? My bad, my dog over here just pouting, because my wife, babe, because I know my wife on the call, Kane over here by the door just staring at the door, crying, waiting to come back. Crazy. So anyway, my wife is actually moderating this call. My apologies, y'all. Because he distracted me with this, man. Kane, be quiet, man. Or either take him on a walk and then walk him upstairs. Take him on a walk for a minute. Appreciate you. So anyways, where was I? Okay, so that's the thing, right? So it was about the fast food. So it got into my mind and my spirit that fast food was the reason why I was so overweight. So, but I kept eating it, and for years I kept eating it. And when the weight started really catching up to me, I was trying different things to lose weight. Like I didn't really want to stop eating fast food, so I would like exercise and try to eat less, and I tried counting calories. And, I tried like cutting out carbs. I tried just eating for a while. I tried weight loss pills. Everything that I tried, I would lose some weight, then gain it back plus a little bit more. And so I was kind of going up like that. And then finally what happened for me was, but in my mind the whole time I was like, really the big issue is the fast food. I just need to stop eating fast food, but I kept just pushing it off. You know what I mean? If you can relate, drop a 4 in the chat. Like, especially like knowing that you got to do something, but it's like, it's hard to stop. So it's like, okay, next week, next month, and it just keeps getting pushed back. I did that for years with fast food. Elder, what they do, man? April, Jetty, okay, good. So that was the thing with the fast food. And so what happened was I finally hit a rock bottom. I ain't gonna say rock bottom, but my all-time low. What happened was, I talk about this in my book. It was a night when me and my wife, this is when I was at my heaviest. It was 2014. It was a night when me and my wife were sitting in our room. Back at the time we was living in the Pine Island projects. Not only was I overweight, I was in the deepest point of poverty that I've ever been into. And so I was all the way in a low space mentally. And we were sitting on the bed, and she went to poking at my chest. She poking at my chest like this, and she started giggling. The way she was poking at my chest and giggling, like laughing. I'm like, babe, what's so funny? She said, dang, baby, titties. Why you ain't come upstairs, boo? Buddha. Came up there with you. She poked at my chest and said, dang, babe, you getting tits. As a man, she told me that. And I got very upset, and it turned into a big argument. And long story short, I ended up going in the bathroom. And I remember I was looking in the mirror, and this is something real important. I want you to write this down. I remember I looked in the mirror, and I was holding my stomach in to make my stomach look smaller to myself. And then I remember when I looked in the mirror, I realized I was lying to myself. And I said it out loud. I remember looking in the mirror like this. I was like, dang, bro, you lying to yourself. Because I realized I've been doing that. When I looked in mirrors, I made myself look small to myself. It wasn't like I was trying to make myself look smaller, like if I was on a beach or something, and I was trying to look better than other people. I was the only person in the bathroom. But I've been doing that when I looked in the reflection. And so I want you to write this down, if you can. I want you to write down, fall in love with the truth. Put, I'm falling in love with the truth of where I'm at. Because in that moment, that's what I did. Like, I remember I looked in the mirror and I just relaxed. I was like, ugh. I relaxed. You feel me? And my stomach came out, and I seen the way I looked totally different than when I was holding my body different. And I was like, that's it, I'm done with fast food. You feel me? I was like, I'm done with fast food. So this is what I want you to do right now, matter of fact. If you're going to fall in love with the truth, and you're going to choose to be honest with yourself about your situation and embrace the truth and be okay with it, put I am in the chat. Drop an I am in the chat, man. I want to see who's locked in, who's going to get the results today. I talk about this in my book, in my chapter that's Minds, because this is very important, man, like to look at the truth. And so here's what I did. I stopped eating fast food. And while I was able to stop eating fast, and so if you got an issue with fast food, right, this might help. This is, because I stopped for the longest, but it was something about the extreme low that I hit, and I hit a point where I was like, I'm done not doing nothing about this situation. I'm about to start losing weight. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to stop eating fast food. And I was like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm just not going to eat it from fast food restaurants. If I want a burger, I'm just not going to McDonald's. I'm not going to Burger King. If I want some pasta, I eat some pasta. If I want a taco, I'm not going to Taco Bell, but I'll make my own. Or if I want fried chicken, I'm not going to Popeyes or Church's, but I'll whip it up myself. So that's what I did. I was like, I could do that. And then what was, in that moment, I got curious. I was like, I wonder how much weight I'm gonna lose. I wonder, because I feel like I'm gonna lose all the weight to get off this fast food. So that's what I did. I stopped eating the fast food, right? And whatever I felt like eating, I was eating. I was eating cookies, pasta. I was whipping up. When my wife and kids went to go to Wendy's or whatever, they would ask me if I wanted something. I'm like, nah, I'm making it for myself. I might make a sandwich with some chips, whatever I felt like eating, I ate. And and then what I started doing, and this is why I say when you wrote down, I'm falling in love with the truth of where I'm at. What I started doing was I started getting on the scale every single day. All right. And if anybody on social media watching and you're wondering why I'm looking down, I'm on a Zoom call right now. You feel me? So if you're on social media, this is literally, I'm giving away a live coaching call. So if you want to lock in, if you're trying to lose weight, this is what it is now. So that's what I did. I got the scale and I was getting on the scale every single day. And I made sure to not eat fast food. And what I did, I just ate whatever I felt like eating. I just didn't eat from fast food restaurants. And I lost like 15 pounds in about 3 months. The weight started coming off me. So as the weight was coming off me, I was like, I knew it. I said, I knew it. But then what happened was maybe 3-4 months, I stopped losing weight. I started floating around between, like I was 15 pounds down, but I kind of started floating right there. I went from 260 down to like 235, or you feel me, down to like 245, excuse me. And I was kind of started floating between 240 and 245. I was just stuck there for like 6 months. 6 months went by and I wasn't eating fast food, but and I was weighing myself every day still, and my weight was just stuck. And so I was like, dang, so it wasn't the fast food. And so I started to feel like I needed to exercise. That's what my mind was telling me, like, man, you gotta get disciplined to get the rest of this weight off. You're gonna need to exercise and probably start eating less. That's what I was thinking, but I pushing that off. And then I came across a piece of information that changed my life. And this is how I really became a Naturalite. It was because of this awareness that led to other awarenesses. And I talk all the time, but I gotta talk about this on this call because I'm about to start getting into the details of how you could choose better versions of the food you love to eat. It's because I found out an enrichment process. So I want to ask you this. If you're unfamiliar with the relationship between enriched grains and weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. Because if everybody already knows, then I could move on past this and go to the next thing. If you're what they do. If you're unfamiliar, Monique, what's up? If you're unfamiliar with the relationship between enriched grains and weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. Tammy, what they do? I see you. Chris, okay, good. T Mama, what's good? Cool, I see you. Okay, Selena. So it's enough people that don't know. So let me explain. So what happened was I seen it on a documentary. And to this day, I don't know what documentary this was. It was the day that I ended up not going to work. I was still in the Pine Island projects, and we got a new cable service, and I was curious going through the new AT&T app. This was before like streaming and all that. And I was trying to figure out the new cable service, and I seen a little documentary area. I went to the documentaries, and there was a documentary about the food industry, and I was like, maybe it might be something in here that can help me lose some weight. Because I stopped with the fast food, so I watched it. The first thing they talked about on this documentary was the enrichment process and how you can enrich grains. And so the enrichment process is a process that started. It was created in the 1940s, and it was created to make wheat, rice, and corn have basically an unlimited shelf life. Like, it'll never go old. And so what they do is they use chemicals to remove the germ from the grain. There's a life germ inside wheat, rice, and corn. Like, the wheat grain is a seed for another plant. The rice grain is really a seed for another plant. Corn. The corn kernel is a seed for another plant. And so the life force energy is inside that life germ. That's what makes it to where it can grow another plant. And so that's the part of the grain that's the softest, and that's the part of the grain that will spoil and go bad if you don't eat it fast enough. And so I was like, man, so what the enrichment process is a chemical process where they bring the grain through the chemicals and they're able to remove that life germ. So they remove that, and what's left is an empty grain, an empty calorie, no energy left in it. And so they add synthetic nutrients to replace natural nutrients that was lost during the enrichment process, right? And the problem is our bodies don't break down the synthetic nutrients. So this is why it leads to weight gain. It's hard for our bodies to break down them chemical compounds that are synthetic. And on top of that, there's no life energy left in the grain. And so for those two reasons, anytime we eat enriched grains, we're putting on weight, 90% for most body types. And so that made sense, because I want to make sure that that just made sense. If that makes sense about the enrichment process, drop a yes in the chat. I want to make sure we're on the same page. Because that's the enrichment process. I want you to know what it is, and then I'm going to explain to you how to identify it and how to better option. All right, so most people say, okay, good. All right, so look. This is how you know if something is enriched. You got to read the ingredients. And so let me give you an example. Because I'm personally a visual learner, and I learn better visually. I learn better visually than I do, just like from words. So this is an example of enriched flour, right? And so you see right here, it say bleached, enriched. And so that right there, that's how you know it's enriched. That's one way to know. And then, but something they don't put if something is enriched on the front of the pack. So you got to look at ingredients. And you'll see right here, it says bleached wheat flour. Then you see here goes synthetic niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid, enzymes. All right. So when you see those ingredients, you know it was put through the ultra chemical process. All right, so instead of getting this, in the same store they got this, right? All that flour should be, if it's flour, it should just be the plant. See right here? It says hard red wheat flour, soft wheat flour, as opposed to bleached wheat flour, niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid, enzymes. So when I made the switch this flour and products made with this flour to this flour, I started losing weight, still eating flour. Or like now everybody's saying gluten. I'm hearing gluten everywhere. I'm like, man, where gluten came from? Y'all remember when you started hearing gluten? But yes, in the chat if you started it, because I'm 42. I was not hearing gluten my whole life. All of a sudden, gluten became a thing. So where did the gluten from? So this is why I be saying a lot of times I think it's distractionary terms that are used to keep us confused and off balance. Gluten is basically just wheat. And then, so a lot of people feel like you got to get off the gluten to lose the weight. But I lost 100 pounds and I still eat wheat. I still eat flour to this day. I eat bread, pasta. Because it's the thing about the flour. It's all the things that it make. Bread, pasta, cookies, crackers, burrito shells, donuts, pastries, cinnamon rolls, all type of flour is in a lot of different things. And so this is why it's so important to read the ingredients. For example, like pasta. If I go get pasta and the pasta is made with enriched flour, it's going to say that in the ingredients. And you'll see the synthetic niacin, iron, thiamine nitrate, folic acid, enzymes in the pasta ingredients. And so then you could keep looking around and find a pasta that was made without those ingredients. Look, let me show you. This is what I'm saying. This is real important, man. This is real important. This is what it is to be a Naturalite. Hold on, let me show you. Oh, I don't think I got any. Oh, bingo. Here we go. I got some. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you like macaroni and cheese, drop in the chat. If you like macaroni and cheese, drop a yes in the chat. Let me see who like macaroni and cheese on this call, man. Because that was one of the things that was really hard for me to eat. In 2020, I stopped eating it, but I lost 80 pounds to eat macaroni and cheese. I see a lot of yeses. Good. So this is the only type of macaroni that we've seen coming up in the house. Right? If you know about Mueller's macaroni elbows, and this is what you use, you feel me? Because sometimes people, they don't know how to make macaroni and cheese taste good, and sometimes people do. But everybody that I knew, and me personally, they always used the Mueller's. Drop a 4 in the chat if you know about Mueller's elbows for the macaroni and cheese. When you make them from scratch with real cheese, like when you use the real cheese for Thanksgiving and all that, drop a 4 if this is the kind of macaroni. Every fan that I've ever been around and people, when I went to, it's always the Mueller's. But this is the problem. When you read the ingredients, right? First of all, when you look at on the packaging, you'll see right here, look at this. It'll tell you right there, enriched. So that means it was put through the ultra chemical enrichment process. By definition, this is a chemical. And so, look here. You see you got the semolina wheat, durum wheat flour. Then you got the synthetic niacin, ferrous sulfate, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid. That's the problem with this macaroni and cheese. Good news. Here go a different type. Oh, these ain't the macaroni, but they got the same kind of macaroni elbows. But look at the difference in the ingredients right here. You see it say organic durum wheat semolina. That's it. You see? Compared to the semolina wheat durum flour, niacin, ferrous sulfate, thiamine mononitrate, folic acid. So when I switched from pasta, this type of pasta to this type of pasta, I started losing weight, man. I was getting on the scale every day. And what happened was, someone say, what's that brand? I'm glad you made that point. And this is great. This is a great point for me to give out. And if you're taking notes, I want you to take notes on this, or especially take a mental note on this. Why don't give brand advice? And I talk about this in my book. I don't give brand advice because I don't trust brands. I've seen at least 20 brands. Like, for example, this brand right here, right? Right now it's natural. But 20 brands, at least in the last 11 years, where ingredients, and then next thing I know, the ingredients changed and it got all type of chemicals in it, but the packaging looked exactly the same. And so for that reason, I don't give people the advice of brands to choose. What I'm doing is I'm trying to help people reprogram their mind, because we've been programmed to be consumers in this country. America is a super capitalistic, money-driven place, and it got its goods and its bad. There's a lot about it that I love, but at the same time, we've been programmed to be consumers, and we've been programmed to be a consumer that purchases products based on brand recognition. And what I'm trying to do my best to help people reprogram their mind to be a consumer that purchases product based on the ingredients that's in it. If it makes sense what I just said, drop a yes in the chat. If it makes sense what I just said, drop a yes in the chat. Okay, good. Catlin, what's good? Okay, what's good? Jamaica, nice. So we on the same page. So listen, to this day, I take a quick glance every time I grab something. I try to, you know what I mean? Okay, so there. So what happened started. So here's what started happening, right? And this is how much time I got left. I don't want to hold y'all too long. We got about 30 more minutes. Good. So here's the thing, right? Before we get to the Q&A, and I give you know what we got going on, the offer that we're gonna drop today. But what started happening when I made the switch and I stopped eating the enriched grains. Me personally, I eat a lot of rice. I make rice a billion ways. I can make seafood rice, black beans and rice, red beans and rice, dirty rice, yellow rice. Oh man, the list on and on. Perlo rice. I love rice, man. And so the only two type of rice that I seen growing up was the long grain enriched white rice and the Uncle Ben's parboiled enriched rice. That's all I ever seen. I didn't even really know that it was other types besides brown rice, to be honest. Like, that was it. Like, we would get the white rice if we got gravy going on with the meal or whatever. And then if we was doing like pigeon peas and rice, and type of rice, we using the parboiled enriched rice. But both of them was enriched. And it's the same chemical enrichment process. So I went to the store, found out there's other type of rice. Like, you got natural jasmine rice, natural basmati rice, and it's amazing. And so when I learned about the enrichment process, right? And you got to go to lose weight, I highly encourage you, when you get off this call, don't not take action. Like, when you get off this call, This is what I did. I paused because I learned what about the enrichment process from a documentary. I paused it and I went to my pantry because I was like, because they explained that it lead to weight, and I was wondering why I wasn't losing no more weight, and I didn't really feel like exercising. So when I seen that, and then I seen that I could also still get the other, like the grains that wasn't put through that enrichment process, I was like, let me look and see what I've been eating that was enriched. I looked in the pantry. The white rice, the parboiled rice was enriched. The pasta noodles that we had was enriched. All the bread that I was getting Uncle Ben's, or excuse me, I was getting what you call it? Nature's Own. The Nature's Own. I like personally the honey wheat bread. I like the honey wheat bread, and one of the changes that I made around that time, I said, okay, I'm gonna stop eating the white bread and go to the wheat bread because I heard the wheat bread was better. So I went to the Nature's Own honey wheat bread because I like the way that it tastes. And so I looked in the ingredients when I went in the pantry at that Nature's Own honey wheat bread. And it was made with, it had wheat flour in it, but it also had enriched whole wheat flour. It had whole wheat flour and enriched whole wheat flour. So it was still put through that enrichment process. And I seen the niacin, thiamine, mononitrate, folic acid. I seen all that in the bread and I was like, oh, they got me. Because I thought I was doing good with the Nature's Own honey wheat bread. So that's why I'm always saying read the ingredients. Because a lot of times they'll market it like it's whole wheat. They'll market it to you like it's whole wheat, and they're not lying. They'll put some whole wheat flour in there. They'll put a little bit of that in there, and then they put a lot more in flour. And then they just put whole wheat on it. If it makes sense what I just said, drop a yes in the chat. These are the little tricks we got to be aware of. Crossword. If it makes sense what I just said, drop a yes in the chat. Okay, good. We're on the same page. So, what else, man? I looked at my I used to eat a lot of Top Ramen noodles. Top Ramen noodles was made with enriched flour. We have Pop-Tarts in there made with enriched flour. Cookies, Chips Ahoy, chocolate chip cookies, Oreo cookies. Well, I used to keep the Little Debbie snacks on deck, personally. Back in the day, we was, me and my wife, I used to be the type that would go to the corner store every day after school and get me a Little Debbie snack. I'd probably give me an oatmeal cream pie and a honey bun, If you know about the Little Debbie snacks, drop a 40. Let me see my, especially if you hood. If you hood, you know about the Little Debbie snacks. There's no way you don't, man. Because you get them for $0.25. Okay, yeah, April, though. I used to love them. There was the oatmeal cream pies, the honey buns I personally liked a lot, and I would drop them in the microwave while it's still in the plastic for about 3 to 4 seconds, and then put it right where you want to be at. And then also I used to like the strawberry swirl. The strawberry swirl is kind of like a Twinkie, but different with the cream in it. And all of those was made with enriched flour. And man, I could go on and on, man. The pizza that was in the freezer, I started looking in the freezer. The pizza crust was made with enriched flour. The pancake batter that I use, we make hot breakfast all the time. And we would just get the just add water pancake batter. That was made with enriched flour. I remember I pulled everything out the pantry and I put it on the counter. I was looking at how much, I realized, I was like, no wonder I ain't losing no weight. Because remember, I lost like 15 pounds getting off the fast food. And then I stopped losing weight. I was weighing myself every single day. And then I learned about the enriched grains. And I looked and I realized I had been eating enriched grains my whole life. I was like, I wonder if it's besides the days where I didn't eat. I was like, I wonder how many days went by that I've been alive that I didn't eat enriched grains. And I remember it bugged me out. I was like, I bet I ate enriched grains 99.9% of every day I've been alive. And at that time, I was like 37. And so, 31. I was like 31 years old. This is in 2014. And so I was like, man, that's crazy. And so what I did, I went to the store and I looked. I looked and I found better pasta. I found rice that wasn't put through that enrichment process. When I got with the rice and in the ingredients, it'll just say the type of rice plant. Jasmine rice, basmati rice, wild rice. It'll show the different type of rice plants in there. But you won't see the thiamine, mononitrate, riboflavin, niacin, enzymes. You won't see none of that. I found cookies made with flour that wasn't enriched. You feel me? And so what I started doing too at a period of my life, I found bread that was made with flour that wasn't put in enrichment process. All the things that I like to eat, I found them. And if I couldn't find them pre-made, what I started doing was I would make it from scratch. If it makes sense, what I just said, drop a yes in the chat. See if we're locked in. So this is something, if you haven't already done it, this is, if you're trying to lose weight, this is something that you could apply like now. And you'll notice your weight will start going down in the first week, for sure, if you haven't been doing this. I see Rachel, what good, Keita, good. So we locked in, nice. Sheila, what's up? All right, so I did that. I was weighing myself every day. The weight was coming off me, and everything was going smooth. And and this is when it hit me, right? And this is where it comes to accountability, right? And holding yourself accountable, or having people that you go through a process with and you can hold each other accountable. But I realized was I was able to hold myself accountable to weighing myself every single day and paying attention to what I ate today and what I ate yesterday. And I was noticing my weight fluctuations compared to what I was choosing to eat. And so I would weigh myself in the morning after I use the bathroom, and I weigh myself at night before I go down and go to sleep. And every day my weight go up and down. And so what I started to, because sometimes I take cheat days, and I talk about this in my book. It's a chapter, the 80-20 rule, and I go more into it in our weight loss community and group coaching and all that. But what I'm saying is, like, you basically 8 out of 10 days, you got to stay on track. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for you to get the results you want. But 2 out of 10 days, I was taking days where if I wanted a pizza and it was made with enriched flour, I would eat it. Or if I wanted one thing I never did was I ain't never go back to the fast food. But it was like days where I was eating enriched food or different things like that I know I shouldn't eat. But on those days, I weighed myself, and my weight would go up, and by that next day, it didn't all come off. Yeah, I might go up 1.5 pounds that day, and the next day after I use the bathroom and weigh myself, I'm down like 0.2 pounds, 0.3 pounds. So I'm still up. As opposed to when I ate, for example, let's say I ate a burger at a sit-down restaurant that had a bun that was made with enriched flour. My weight, and I weighed myself that night. And in the beginning of the day, let's say I was 250. At night, I'll go up to 251.5. And that next day, I'll be at 251.3. As opposed to when I ate the burger with a bun that was made with flour that wasn't put through the enrichment process, I went up the same amount from 250 to 251.5. But by the next day, I'm at 250.2. Does it make sense what I just said? If it makes sense, drop a yes in the chat. If it didn't make sense, drop a no. And so this is what I'm talking about, like having a system and being aware of my choices compared to the truth of my body weight fluctuations. So from doing that, because I was weighing myself, I was paying attention, I was able to see that. I seen that my body held on, and it might take me 3 days for all that weight to come off me. When I ate the enriched flour, as opposed to when I ate flour that wasn't enriched, it all came off me by the next day, or at the latest, the day after that, it's all off me and I'm down a little bit. All right, so we're on the same page. Good. All right, so this is what I realized, right, from going through that process. And I probably lost another 15 pounds in about the same amount of time, in about probably 90 days, from switching off the enriched grains and going to the grains that wasn't enriched. Still all the stuff that I like to eat. Still eating pasta, still eating bread, burgers, French fries. I was eating everything. I like cookies, cakes. I just didn't eat any enriched grains. And so rice. And so, and the whole time I was weighing myself, I realized probably 2 months in, my weight was coming off me. I realized I was doing a science experiment on my body. Because I remember when I used to go to school, I remember I went to school, but it was a teacher that I had that I did like. I only had a couple teachers my whole middle school, high school career. Like, it was only a couple teachers that I liked, but one of them was a science teacher. And we used to do a lot of science experiments in this class. That's why I liked it. And he explained with the science experiment, you got to have constant variables, and you measure the results of mixing constant variables together, and you measure the result, and then you add a variable of change to the constant variables, and you measure the result. And when you get a different result because you added this variable to change to your experiment, you know that different result came because of this one variable to change. But if you add 2 or 3 different variables to change to your constants and you get a result, you don't really know what happened, like what was the cause of what just happened, right? So I thought that was real interesting when I was in school. Did it make sense what I just said? Did I make that good enough? Let me know in the comments if that made sense about making one change at a time and measuring the results to know that, okay, this new result came from this change that I made. I know it because I only made one change and everything else stayed the same. Okay, I see. Okay, Alex, Amy, what's up? Okay, good. So we're on the same page. That's what I was doing. The first thing I did, I only made one change. I stopped eating fast food. I still was eating burgers, French fries. I just wasn't eating them from fast food restaurants. I still was eating, tacos, fried chicken, just not from fast food restaurants. And I lost weight. So the only thing I changed was I stopped eating at fast food restaurants. So I knew that them 15 pounds that I lost because I stopped eating at fast food restaurants. And so then it was the enriched grains. I changed nothing else about the way I was eating. I was still eating all the food I liked to eat. I just stopped eating the enriched grains and I weighed myself every day. My weight started coming down. So now I know my weight coming down because of the enriched grains. The enriched grains had weight on them. And so then that's when it hit me. I was like, and what I started doing at this point, right, is I started paying attention to the ingredients. Because when I was looking in the ingredients, I wanted to make sure that there was nothing enriched in there. Right? And so I had the idea cross my mind. I wonder if I'm going to, because I wanted to get down to 190. And I had the idea cross my mind. I wonder if it was all because of the enriched grains. You feel me? Because and this is one thing we got to be aware of too, is false beliefs. I had a belief in my mind that the whole reason I was overweight was because of fast food. I believed for probably over 10 years of my life. Until I finally stopped eating fast food and put it to test, and then I seen, okay, that wasn't the whole issue. And so this is something we got to be aware of, like when it comes to false beliefs that we can have in our mind, things that we've heard other people say and make logical sense, and we feel like, okay, if I did this, if I do what they would know I'm going to get the result, I just got to do it. We don't really know until we put it to the test. Right or wrong? Right? You feel me? Put a yes if you agree, put a no if you don't agree. I want to see if we're on the same page, man. We don't really know until we put it to the test. All right? Okay, good. We're on the same page. Cool, man. So I realized, I was like, okay, I'm going to see how much my weight come down. I would get down to 190. When I went from 260 to about 245, getting off fast food. Then I went from 245 probably down to about 230. And then same thing happened. I kind of started hovering right there. And I stopped losing weight. Okay. It got into my mind like, okay, I'm going to start making one change at a time and I'm going to measure the results. This is back probably around 2015, 2016, in that range. And I was like, the next thing I'm going to stop is margin. Because that's when I started reading the ingredients and I noticed with the margin, it was like chemicals all in the margin. And I used to eat margin every day, like the country crock margin. If you know about the margin, the country crock margin, if you came up on that about that, drop a 4 in the chat. Because the margin, that's all we used to get. We never would get butter. You feel me? And we just would get the margin. And so, I would saute when I use it on my toast. I see you, man. April, what's good? I would, bake with it. I would put it on my pancakes. Everything. I would use the margin. And so, I was like, okay, that's the next thing I'm going to change. I decided to go from the margin to butter. And so I went from the margin. Once I stopped losing weight, I probably was around 230 pounds. From 260, I got my way down to 230. I got off the margin and I lost some weight. So the butter was better than the margin as far as weight goes. If that just made sense, drop a yes in the chat. Let me see if we locked in. I use real butter. There you go. There you go. So if you're using a lot of margin right now, that's something you could do. You could switch off the margin and go to the butter. You feel me? And so, basically, this is what another thing. The next thing that I got off was sugar. So let me ask, who's on the line like sweets? Especially if you feel like sweets is the reason why you overweight, like is your weakness. If you feel like sweets is your weakness, drop a yes in the chat. Okay, we got 15 minutes. We're doing all right. There's more. I can only so much. I wish I had y'all for like 4 hours. I could give you everything, but I want to give you as much as I can. Hold on. I see someone raised their hand and I can't see the chat now. I see the shade. Okay, it just went away. Deshae, we'll get to you at the end. We're gonna do a Q&A in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay. Is there a way that Deshae's hand could be unraised, or is it got to? Huh? What do you got to do? Oh, okay. I see it just went away. Just wait for the end, Deshae, and I'll get to you because I can't see the comments because of the way it is on my screen. It blocked the comments with the hand raised. What's the name? But anyway, all right. So what was I just saying? Where was I, babe? Sugar. Bingo. All right. So with the sugar, right? The only type of sugar that I ever used was the white granulated sugar, right? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now this is a big one. This is a big one. Let me show you what I mean. So with the sugar, oh, we ain't got the raw cane sugar. With the sugar, right? I'm gonna just show you like I do my best because we keep our sugar in a container. But so this is the type of sugar that I came up on. And you see, it said granulated, and I always felt like granulated sugar was like it was like explaining like it was like grains of sugar, like it was just sugar that was busted up into little grains. You feel me? But what I did was, and I encourage anybody to do this. All right, I looked at a video on YouTube. You could YouTube search how to make granulated, ultra-processed white table sugar that's sold in stores. Got to get specific with the search. And then watch how it's made. And then read the definition of a chemical. Read the definition and all the synonyms, the words similar inside the definition of what a chemical is. And read the definition and the synonyms and words similar of the word drug. And then pair the definition, the chemical and drug, to what the process is to make this. And then by definition, you see that this is, by definition, a sweet chemical drug. The white granulated table sugar. And so when I found that out, I was like, dang, I was like, okay, let me switch over. So what I did, I got off the granulated table sugar and I went to the raw organic cane sugar. And I wanted to show you an example of it, but we keep it in a container. But you can notice I got like a brownish tint to it. And when I made the switch from this sugar, and I love the way this, I like the way this tastes better than this. And you know, I started losing weight still eating sweets. But when it comes to sugar, right, it's also the things, all the products that sugar is in. And so that's why I'm always saying read the ingredients. And you read the ingredients, in the ingredients, if it's made with granulated white sugar, it's gonna say sugar by law. It's gonna say sugar in the ingredients. If it's made with raw organic cane sugar, it'll say cane sugar. So if it's made with cane sugar, that's a different process. If it just says sugar, then you know it's the granulated processed table sugar, ultra processed chemical table sugar. If that makes sense, how to identify the differences with sugar and ingredients, drop a yes in the chat. If it didn't make sense, drop a no. I want to make sure I'll give y'all the sauce. I seen one no. Basically, sugar, granulated sugar, you want to avoid it. If you see sugar in the ingredients, don't eat that. Look for something that says cane sugar in the ingredients. And only buy the raw organic cane sugar from the store. Stop buying this and making things with this. When I made that switch, I was still eating sweet foods. I made that switch and that I changed and weight started coming off. I know because I was weighing myself every day. You feel me? And so all that being said, right? When I go live a lot of times, right? Or when I, especially when I'm going live, or I do like cooking content, a lot of times I don't eat meat. So some people think I'm a vegan. You know what I'm saying? Like people will be like, they'll come up to me in the store, like, and they'll be like, "Oh, I've seen you on TikTok. I see you on oh, you the vegan? You the vegan dude? Oh man, appreciate you." Da da da. So I'll be like, man, because I'm not a vegan. You know, and but people say that, and it kind of tripped me out. But as I was going through my of losing the weight, right, I realized along the way that it wasn't really like a category that I felt like I could relate with. You know what I'm saying? Like Why I'm not a vegan? Because one, I still eat fish. If I want to eat steak every once in a while, I will. Probably like once or twice a year. At this point, I don't really like to anymore. I like the way it tastes, but it messed my stomach up. Same, I like lamb too, but every blue moon I'll eat that. If I want to, I will, is the point I'm trying to make. Sometimes I'll eat pizza if I want it. But, not often, but sometimes, And so for that reason, I'm not a vegan. And two, what I like about the veganism, because I lost 80 pounds still eating meat and cheese and all of that. So that wasn't, the meat and the cheese wasn't the big issue for my weight loss. It was more understanding processed foods and how to identify them in the ingredients. So so what happened in 2020, I started cutting back on meat, more so for spiritual reasons, and I was just more open to experimenting for energetic reasons and stuff like that. So and health reasons. And so, that's when I started cutting back on meat. But the point what I'm trying to make is I respect that about veganism. I respect getting off the animal products. I see the wisdom in it. To be real with you, I felt like I needed to eat. I felt like humans were omnivores and we needed to eat meat. You know what I mean? And there's a part of me that still feel like it might be like that, might not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm experimenting and I'm learning as I grow. But I respect it though, like, because you got a lot of vegans that are like extremely healthy. You could look at them, their skin is glowing, and they've been vegans for 15 years, 20 years, haven't ate no meat, and they're doing just great. You know what I mean? And so that's making people look at it. A lot of people look at it different. So I respect that. But what I don't like is it's not in the definition of veganism that I can't eat heavily processed foods and chemicals. Like, you can go and get vegan cheese from the grocery store. That's the process. It don't got no animal product in it, but it's got all type of chemicals in it that's been put through heavy processes. Same with like vegan milk and vegan butter substitutes and like Impossible burgers and stuff like this, like pasta that's vegan approved and bread and you go to a vegan restaurant and get a vegan wrap made with a wrap that was put through the enrichment process and is vegan approved. You get what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm like, that's the part that I don't like about veganism. Like, and I'm not talking about vegans, the people. I'm talking about whoever created it. Like, why they left that part out. And so, as I was looking around the landscape, I didn't see nothing that really fit like the way that I eat. So I created the term Naturalite. I'm not a vegan. I'm a Naturalite. And so we went through the trademark process last year, and we got trademark in. And a Naturalite is someone who reads the ingredients and avoids the heavily processed foods and chemicals. Like a vegan is someone who focuses on getting off their products. Some Naturalites eat meat, some don't. We all know the ingredients matter. If that resonates with you, and if you see the wisdom in that, drop a 4 in the chat. If being a Naturalite, if the term itself resonates with you, drop a 4 in that, man. Because as I was looking around, I haven't seen it. And this is the thing, man. I lost 100 pounds literally because I became a Naturalite. I just had to put a word to it. I lost the weight because I started paying attention to the ingredients. And the vast majority of the battle was I realized I had gained all that weight because I was eating too much processed foods. I know from a personal experience. And then also, I see all the 4s that dropped. It's all love. I also know how many people that I've coached one-on-one and how much, and then the group coaching that I've done. And we have over 90% success rate working with people, helping them to lose weight. And we got testimonials, and we have a daily accountability that we hold each other accountable to, and we measure our results. And so this is what I'm saying. The issue in this country, and this is what I really believe in, this is my honest. I believe the issue why this country is so overweight is because heavily processed foods and heavily processed ingredients and chemicals are all in the food, man. And you got, things like natural flavors. That ain't even natural. That was designed, billions of dollars spent, billions, to create chemicals that derived from something natural, and then they bring it through a process of synthesizing it. So synthetic chemicals that when we eat them, it entice our taste buds to want to keep eating. And then you got ingredients that numb our intestinal tract to when you eating, you don't feel full. So you having a mouth high, and then at the same time, your stomach going numb. So you want to just keep on eating. You don't even feel full. That's the scary part. And so this is what I'm saying. A Naturalite is someone who has a goal to want to see natural chemical-free food be the new standard in America. Because right now it's not the standard. Right now the standard is ultra-processed chemical ingredients in food. That's the standard. 80% of the, when you go in, I know because I go and watch, I want you to start reading the ingredients. You know what I mean? I know because when I go into grocery stores and I look around, 80% of the options are healthy, man. But the good news is, so it can be kind of overwhelming. And I feel like we're running out of time. So I think I'm going to wrap the live up like this. Because it can be kind of overwhelming, but I want to give you this. So when you go grocery shopping, right? It's like this. Like, it can be overwhelming. Like, dang, how do I find what I want out of all these options? Break the store into sections. That's the beautiful thing. It's already broke up for us. So you got the bread section, you got the pasta section, you got the sugar section, you got the you know what I mean, like the seasoning section. You know, you got, everything is broke up. And so what I notice is pretty much the same across the board, 80-20. 80% of the breads in the bread section is made with enriched grains. But about 20% of them aren't. Same with the pasta section, same with the rice section, the sugar section, same with the chip section. You get what I'm saying? So now it's not so daunting. Like I just go in, I'm looking section by section, checking the ingredients, and you'll start to find the stores and the areas where you can go and find the ones that you like that aren't put through those heavy processes. If it makes sense what I just said, drop a yes in the chat. I feel like I want to keep going, man. I want to keep going with y'all, man, but I'm not, you know, I respect your time. It's already been an hour. I see you, man. Anna, Kenita, what's popping? Maddie, Valerie, what's good? Barbara, Eddie, good. So now look, again, a Naturalite knows the ingredients matter. So we're always reading the ingredients. We're doing what we have to do to educate ourselves how to choose more natural options. And in the process, we'll be choosing foods that we like, but just making sure that we're using the natural ingredients to eat those of the foods that we like, and we're losing the weight. But a Naturalite, here's the right, because I obsess over helping people lose weight, and I also obsess over like, I don't like that. I don't like the way it is. Like I was 31 years old before I started reading the ingredients. I lived 3 decades before I even got intentional with reading the ingredients. I lived over 3 decades without even knowing what was in the food I was eating. And the specific ingredients, what was the processes that it was put through. And so that's another thing I highly encourage you to do for yourself. Look up videos that show you step by step how to make these chemical names that you see in the ingredients. So you could see the process that it was put through. And then at that point, you could use logic. You get what I'm saying? And so how do we so my whole thing is like, dang, man, like I don't want it to be to where my grandkids gotta be this intentional when we go in the grocery store. We should just be able to go get some pasta, man. If we want to eat pasta, we should be able to go get some pasta that was made with wheat. We should go to the rice section and get some regular rice. We gotta be so intentional. So this is my prayer for Naturalite, is that millions of us identify as a Naturalite for the purpose of being aware and choosing natural food options. And this lifestyle, this ain't a diet that I'm talking about. The diet that I'm talking about, because for me, and actually I feel like this, I gotta say, for me, what happened was I had a mind, in hindsight, when I look back on it, I had a mindset shift and didn't even know it. So I remember when it hit me, like it might have been like two and a half years in, it hit me. I was like, because I remember I used to feel like eating healthy food was a mission. I didn't really want to do it. Like I didn't like the way healthy food tastes. And so that was a false belief that was in my mind, because when I thought about healthy food, I thought about a couple of times I went to maybe at a restaurant and I tried healthy and I got some and I wish I didn't get it because I didn't really like it. And a couple of different, if you ever had that situation happen, drop a yes in the chat. If you ever felt like healthy food, you don't really like the way it tastes, drop a yes in the chat. See that? Okay. See, Adley, okay, so it wasn't just me. That's the thing. That's what was holding me back. It was a false belief that healthy food don't taste good. And so when I started making these changes, I was still eating burgers. I was still eating fish sandwiches, stuff that I like. I was still eating pasta, Alfredo, spaghetti. I was still eating macaroni and cheese, baked chicken, barbecue. I was eating all the food I liked. I was still eating chocolate chip cookies, donuts. I was just eating them made with natural ingredients. And when I switched over, and I love the way they taste. And so I remember hitting me, I was like, I remember I used to feel like eating healthy was hard when really I could have been doing this. And then I was feeling a way like in my spirit, like I started to feel a way like, like you know when like someone like get over on and you didn't peep it? That you ever had someone like finesse you or like lie to you? You thought they was telling the truth and then down the line you find out that it wasn't that and then you upset with yourself. I like that's how I felt, like I was upset with myself for not peeping this. Like, but good news is when I peeped and I made the change, I remember when it dawned on me, I went from feeling like eating healthy was a mission to feeling like I want to do this. I don't never want to go back to eating the way I used to eat. And when I realized that, that's when it was like, I know now at this period of my life, that's when I hit the mindset that I needed to never get overweight again. Because now it's not a mission for me to be doing what I'm doing, what I want to do. And I'm eating what I want to eat. I don't want to go back to how I used to eat. All right? So that's what it is to be a Naturalite, my brothers and sisters. Let me ask you a question. Now this is for the action part. And then I want to get into the offer that I'm really excited about because we created something for you if it's something you're into. And then I want to get into the Q&A. But if being a Naturalite resonates with you, and after watching this coaching, if from now on, especially if you haven't been doing this intentionally, if from now on you're going to read the ingredients and you're going to make the switches that we went over on this call, put I am in the chat. Let me see who locked in. If you're going to make these changes and read the ingredients, drop I am in the chat. Audrey, Rachel, what you do? Tamika, what's good? Crystal, Marie, Terry. Oh, man, it's all love. Jody, what's up? I see you. Joanne. Oh, man, okay. Rashida. I started laughing. There you go, Rashida. And now, look, if you're not getting on the scale every day, Rashida, I encourage you to start getting on that scale every single day now and paying attention so you can start to see the way your body weight compared to your choices. All right. So there we go, man. So look, what I want to do now is I want to go over this offer that we got because basically my whole thing is like one, I want you to know that the information that I just gave you, and because there's more to it than I gave you as much as I could in an hour, but I want you to know that this information works. So I want to show you a couple testimonials, and then I want to show you the offer that we put together for you, and then I want to do a Q&A. And let me ask you this. If you're curious about what we created, and it's not just me, it's me, my wife, and we got a whole team that we with now. Shout out Ken, Bob, Taylor, George, all of them at Better Cake. We're really building out our platform. It's called Go Naturalite. And the goal is to make natural chemical-free food the new American standard. So it's a huge goal. And we're just going to be taking a step at a time towards that goal. And so this is the first new product that we created together. And I'm gassed up about it. This is what I'm saying. I'm about to present it. If you're curious about it, drop a yes in the chat. If you're curious about it, drop a yes in the chat. Let me see who's curious, man. And trust me, it's going to be sweet. It's going to be super sweet. Okay, Nicole, what they do? I see you, man. Cordell, what's good? Lee, what's up? Teresa, good. All right, Ken, so let's run it, man. Let me show you these testimonials. I'm going to show you one. Then I want to set up the second one, and then I want to just show you the offer real quick, and then we'll do this Q&A. All right, check this out, man. This is Leah. Check out what Leah got to say, man. Shout out Leah. I can't hear it. I think you're on mute, Ken. There we go.
In 2022, I found him, and I immediately...
Here we go.
Hi, this is a short testimony to the power of Jabez. In 2022, I found him, and I immediately started to apply his principles and his teachings. And 2 years later, I'm down 123 pounds, and I'm off of medications. I was on 12 medications. And so today, I've had nothing but success in applying his principles. They work. They're easy. It's simple knowledge, and when you understand the principle behind it, the weight just falls off of you, literally, and it will change your life. Not only will it change your life, it will change your family's life.
So shout out Leah, man. And so it was a trip. She was she got on when I really first started my run trying to help people lose weight. And when we had our conversation after she lost all that weight, it gave me chill bumps. And the thing about it, right, like, notice how she brought up the medications. My lane isn't health, so I want to be clear about this. My lane is just helping people lose weight. But that go to show. Like, I wasn't giving her the advice. I didn't know she had health issues and none of that, but that go to show that there's a connection between weight and health. And I believe there's a connection between all these chemicals that they food and how a lot of us is getting sick and having to be on more medication and chemical on top of that. So it's just something to be aware of. All right, let's go to the next one, man. Let's go to the next one because I respect y'all time. We're gonna keep this thing going. Now with this one, before you can real quick, this is Ella, right? So what I do is this is probably like 5 months ago. We ran, it's a program that I developed called the Love and Way Less Reprogram. And it's a 30-day process that I take people through. It was a group of people that we took through the process, and I've taken people through the same process one-on-one. And so when I take you through this process, it's a process of coaching. We do weekly coaching calls, and there's daily accountability work, 15 minutes a day. It's not hard. And then we take a picture of the scale. It's a process that we go through. And at the end of the 30 days, I guarantee that you're going to lose at least 5 pounds or your money back, as long as you do the simple activity work. And so we have over a 90% success rate. So this is one of the testimonials from that group. So you could drop it from the last group.
Hi,
that I
my
read
name
with.
is Ella, and I have to tell you, the Eat What You Love and Way Less Reprogram was amazing. Absolutely amazing. In a month's time, I was able to lose 13 pounds. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. What's powerful about it? The information you receive, the knowledge, the support. If you're someone like me who's tried everything and you may be a little hesitant, I'm gonna tell you, if you just believe and give this a chance, it's gonna be well worth it. Your outlook, it begins to change and it begins to improve. There's so much knowledge and information you're going to receive. Things we don't learn in school, it's going to really give you that information so that you can continue eating foods you love. You're going to find a better way to do it, a way that's going to really be better for you than a lot of the things that we eat now, right? This is one of those programs, I'm telling you, that where it's a perfect example that knowledge is powerful. So powerful. So just believe, give it an honest try, and go after it. You can do it.
Shout out Ella, man. And so check it out, right? So this is the thing. So what I wanted to do, because when I do coaching, people pay, between $500 and $2,000. It's kind of like what we've been doing to go through this 30-day process. And I wanted to make something that was more affordable, but just as valuable. And I wanted it to be to where instead of it just being 30 days, it could be longer. Because sometimes what can happen, like especially like kind of creatures of habit, and we could do something for 30 days and kind of stay consistent for maybe a month or two on our own and maybe kind of fall off. So this is what we put together. I wanted to put together a Naturalite weight loss community, and this is what Go Naturalite is creating in real time right now. This is what we put together. The first and most valuable part of my coaching is the journal that we keep. It's of our journal. And because with our journal, what we do, we have a daily routine that's super simple, like 10, 15 minutes out of the day take to do it, but we got to do it every day to make sure that we stay on track. You know what I mean? And so what we created was the Naturalite weight loss planner. So it's a 90-day planner. And you could go to the next page because I want to go ahead and just show them what it is. And then we get to this Q&A. So this is the Naturalite guided weight loss planner, right? And so this is what we're offering today is we're going to be bringing on these weight loss planners it's going to be probably 2 to 3 months now, right? Because we're getting them made overseas and they got to get shipped over here. And so but we've already designed it. And the planner's so dope because mindset work that we do every day. It got daily activities that we do. Like I say, 10, 15 minutes total for everything. And we measure our results every day. We weigh ourselves in the morning and we weigh ourselves at night. And then there's also all type of information in this planner to keep you on track. It's just loaded value. And so the cost of this, like, because we're just going to be selling the planner for people that want to just like hold themselves accountable, but it's going to help you stay consistent, $74. And but we also launched the Naturalite Weight Loss community. We're launching it, and so this is so lit because, like I say, I partnered up with like I say, Ken and Bob and all of them. I met them in a mastermind with Myron Golden, and they are professionals, man. I just seen an order come through. No, that wasn't. They're professionals, right? And so it's just quality, right? That's going on, right? So we're actually gonna have an app for our community where there's gonna be a place where everybody can communicate with each other and post our accountability work that we got to do in our journal every day. And you'll be able to have the customer service from our team to go through this 90-day process while you have the journal. And so that's how we do it. If you want to stay involved with the community, it's $50 a month, you know, but the deal is you can get this journal, right? And you can get 3 months access to the community. It's a $50 a month community included in the $99. And also you'll have 2 months access thereabouts extra because you're going to have to wait before you get the Naturalite weight loss journal. This is making sense. I'm doing my best to explain it. So it's going to be a little period of time before the journals get in. So this is a pre-order special. So when you order the pre-order of this journal right for $100, you actually get like 5 months access to our paid community where you'll have the community app. You'll be able to post your accountability work in there, find accountability partners, and get your questions answered inside this app to make sure you stay on track through this 90-day process to get the results you want to get. If it makes sense about that part of the offer, drop a yes in the chat. If it don't, drop it on. I just want to make sure that it was clear. All right, so most people said yes. I seen. We'll get to any more questions in the Q&A. Good. So I did a pretty good job. All right, move to the next slide because we got a second offer, which is basically the same thing, but these are for people that want to get my book. So I wrote 3 books. The first book that I wrote was Life Matters, so Let's Eat Like It. So that was this is how I explained how I lost 100 pounds still eating the foods that I like to eat. Huh? Oh, okay. So right. So I explained how I lost the weight with Life Matters, so Let's Eat Like It. We've sold over 50,000 copies independent, and we've had a lot of people lose weight with the book. So we got that book, and also we got our family cookbook, Life Matters, so Let's Eat Like It, the family cookbook, which is but they can't on the live, which is this one, and this is 62 Naturalite recipes. So we got like chicken recipes, fish recipes, veggie recipes, like friendly recipes. We got like a little bit of everything. We got rice, pasta. We got cookies, cake, snacks, dressings, sauces, bread, all type of 62 Naturalite approved recipes that are full of flavor. That's gonna help you lose the weight you want to lose. So that's the second book that we wrote, and it actually hit #1 on Amazon too. And then my most recent book, The More We Grow, The More We'll See Everything We Need is free. And that's not what this call is about, but I'm super into agriculture. And I believe the reason we're in the position that we're in right now, as far as so many of us being overweight, is because not enough of us understand agriculture. I really think that's what it come down to. Like, we're dependent on other people to generate and produce the food from the land for us. And we're so accustomed to just going to the grocery stores and restaurants for our food that they're able to modify the food so much before it gets to us because we're just unaware. We're not as connected to the land that we need to be. So I got to go to help over 1 million people successfully start growing their own food for free, because everything we need is the creator of all things created it perfect in the first place. When we started doing all this chemistry and all the chemical, it started to on our bodies that we're not in pocket with where we need to be. If it makes sense what I just said, drop it in the chat. If it makes sense what I just said about agriculture and the importance, it needs to be more of us that start growing our own food, man. I see y'all, man. Jamaica, what they do. If you want to get the book bundle, feel free. So that's what it is. So you can get the book bundle, and we'll sell 3 of these books to you right away. And then you'll still be on pre-order status for the Naturalite Weight Loss Planner. And then you'll have access to the community as you open it up. So we're going to open this community. The goal is to have it up and going. What did it say? How long? I think it's like in the next few weeks. We're going to have. How long did you say it was going to be before we the community?
It's probably going to be 2-3 weeks.
2 weeks. So if you do any one of these offers, you'll get access to the community in about 2 to 3 weeks, we're gonna have the app ready, and we're gonna start doing, you know, community activities in there. And you know what I mean? You can start taking action now, and then you'll get the journal in about 3 months max. And if you get this bundle, you'll get these books sent to you right away, so you can read the books and you could be going through the process inside the community with us. And that's that, man. So if you want to do this, we got the link here on the next page. My wife is going to start dropping the link in the chat, and feel free to grab it if you want to grab it. I'm looking forward to everybody that get into this community. We're putting a cap for 75 people right now. We're going to do a few more of these calls, but we want to kind of stay even with customer service and the amount of people that are community. So we make sure to give everybody a good experience, and we're going to kind of grow incrementally, you know, as we grow with this. So right now we're going to take 75 people in. If you want to join in, feel free. It'll never be at this price once we get this thing going, you know, like organized. And because we work, you know how it is when you start something new, you got to work out the kinks. So that's why we're making the price so cheap right now. And so if you want to join, feel free. The link is right here. It's gonaturalite.com/founder. My wife is dropping it in the chat. And we'll be dropping it in the chat for the next 30 minutes while I take these questions. So let's get it, man. If anybody got any questions, drop them in the chat. Did you get any written down? Was it any good ones? 2 questions. One, how do I make this bigger, man? What about alcohol? Okay, I'll answer that question first. That's a great question. So with me, I used to drink a lot, man. You know, I actually still drink, but not like I used to. I used to drink a lot of liquor. And I actually talk about this in my book, and I go more into detail in coaching and everything like that. But alcohol, it blew my mind when I learned this, that what it does is it slows metabolism down. It slows down the digestive tract up to 75% when you drink over 3 shots in a setting. So if you drink over 3 shots of alcohol, it can slow your digestion up to 75% for up to 72 hours. Because alcohol is a depressant. And so when I learned that, because I lost 80 pounds. I'm not encouraging anybody to drink. If you drink, you should stop. But it ain't that easy for a lot of us. So I like to try to give options. You know what I mean? I lost the weight still drinking. What I did do though was I got disciplined. Like I really did. I got disciplined. What I ate when I was drinking, because you know when you drink, you can be to go get some fast food, get a burger, get something heavy to soak up the alcohol. I only ate natural foods. I just stayed consistent with, you know, everything that I write in my book and that we went over on this coaching call. Like I stayed consistent. I was disciplined to not eat the processed food and the junk food. It's already harder for my body to break that down. And it took me like 3 years to lose 80 pounds. It took me a while, and I think it was because of the drinking. Slowed down. I feel like I would have lost weight faster if I wasn't drinking. But I still was able to lose weight, but I had to be disciplined when I was drinking. If that makes sense, drop a yes in the chat. If that makes sense, drop a yes in the chat. That's for anybody that like to drink. Okay, I have, let me see. I see Rashida say, I have Arthur's organic bleached flour. The ingredients are organic, unbleached, hard. How is it bleached if it's bleached hard wheat flour in the ingredients and enzyme? I'm confused. I've never seen that. I wouldn't get. That's red flag activity to me. But I look for flour that just all you see is the type of wheat grain that's being used. So I'm not, like I say, I don't like to give brand advice. I like to give awareness advice. Just read the ingredients, look at all the different flours you can see. The enzymes is a new development in the ingredients, especially over the last few years. They've kind of hiked up with these enzymes, which are also a synthetic ingredient. So I look for flour that don't have the enzyme in them too, if that makes sense. Let me see what it say. Will these offers be emailed after the Zoom? Exactly. Yeah. When you go through the process, it's a simple process. If you're on social media and you want to grab the offer, I meant to say the link is underneath my profile picture. My bad. On all my pages, on the top of my homepage, if you click that link, you'll see where it say inside there. It say, what did we title it? Naturalite founding members offer. So anybody that joins now into the community is going to be a founding member for the next, because you're going to be the first ones in. So that's how that goes.
That was somebody on the Zoom that asked that should not allow.
But so that they'll be emailed, so you'll get the confirmation with the what to expect moving forward, and we'll be communicating through email lead up to when you get everything. You'll get the order number and everything like that. What else we got? Let me see. Can I buy the book bundle and still participate in the community and the journal? Yeah, for the offer right here, the book bundle, it includes the journal and the community. The one that's $199 that you see over here to the left on the screen, you get everything. And so you actually get 5 months access to community. You'll get the journal when it's delivered, when we get it from overseas. You'll get the book bundle immediately, and then you'll have access into the community in 2 to 3 weeks max. Like I say, we're almost done developing it. It's going to be a Naturalite community app that we have, and it's super easy to maneuver through, and you'll be able to connect with accountability partners. Everybody will be seeing each other's progress as we go through this journey together. You know what I mean? I'll be giving out content in there, so that's how that goes. You know what I mean? What else we got?
These kind of the same questions.
Can't buy
I
the.
got one that.
Go ahead.
Someone asked a question, what if I bought the book bundle? Is there a way to still get benefit to participating in the community?
Yeah, I think what they was curious about was this book bundle for this offer, and yes, they would
Right.
still have access to the community. Yep.
So if they have the bundle, the $99 option would be the one they choose, if they already have.
Oh, they're saying if they already bought the book bundle previously.
Correct.
Oh no, this offer is just for people that purchased today. If you already bought a book bundle in the past, you won't have access to the community. You could do the $99 offer, like Ken was saying, and get a journal, and then have access to the community, and we could go through the process together with the journal here. Because the thing is, when the journals come in, we're shipping them all out at the same time, and we'll be in contact with everybody in the community. And so then at that point, when everybody got their journal, we're going to start at this, and we're going to go through a 90-day process. You feel me? So that's why the community is going to be so live. So, well.
Said, what if I want to join Friday? 2 people asking that question.
If you want to join Friday, if we already hit our cap, then we'll have to wait till the next time we bring more people in, because the thing about it is, and then it probably, I don't know if it's going to be at this price or not. This is for just during this call for this price. And once we hit our cap, we're gonna when we go through the process, we're gonna start to see how much customer service work is going to be required to make sure everybody gets the result they want to get, and we're going to be systemizing everything to make it smooth and effective, for we could bring more people in and then still be a high standard. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So it's kind of maybe not. I don't know. It depends. Depends how many people buy it. You know.
Water do you drink in 1 day?
How much water do I drink in 1 day? I like to drink. It varies. When I get thirsty, I drink. Latoya Thorpe, I just seen an order come through. Latoya is love. Welcome to the community. I'm looking forward to getting to know you, man. So with water, my main thing that I did was I was drinking the drinking water, and I stopped drinking the purified water, and I went to just the spring water. And if they don't have spring water in the store, I went to the distilled water. When you look at the process of making drinking water and purified water, it's chemicals and filters. It's basically kind of like tap water. When you look at spring water, it's supposed to be sourced naturally out of a spring, and it got natural minerals in the water that we're compatible with. And so I made that. When I made that switch, I noticed the difference more so in my energy, because I had our weight. Sharon Underwood, I just seen the order come through. Sharon is love. I see people say, you got to drink a gallon of water a day. I tried doing that, and I don't think it's true. I really don't, man. I don't think we need that much. I felt dumb uncomfortable. Destiny Benjamin, I just seen the order come through. Destiny, forward to seeing you in there. I just felt super uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So I don't drink. I drink when I'm thirsty. You know what I mean? And I like to drink, especially natural juice over water, like real juice, or I'll just eat fruit. Maria say, even if a product says non-GMO or organic, it could still possibly be processed. So that's a great question. So yes, this is why I always say read the ingredients. A good rule of thumb is when you see the long chemical looking names, just don't do it. Look for another product in that same area that just has natural names in it. You know what I mean? If you had to sum it up, if you just start doing that, you're gonna start. That's it's enough. But here's the GMO thing, right? Because it could be like you could go to the fruit section and get some GMO banana. You know what I'm saying? Like the majority of the produce section at this point has been genetically modified. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. That's why I wrote this book. You know, that's why I'm going through the process of, you know, I'm a life student of agriculture. You know, I want to be a master at it and never learning and improving at the craft of making natural food and being able to do it in abundance. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is like the GMO. Here's the thing, like, and I actually talk about this. I go into it in the coach. I talk about it in my book slightly. Like, I know people that, like, for example, like, you remember when it was like the watermelon, like it was like everyone was saying don't eat watermelons with no seeds. It was like trending. Y'all were dropping yes in the chat if you remember that. When everybody was like, don't eat the watermelons with no seeds. Drop a yes if you remember that, man. Just sit there, remember what they do. April. That's what I'm saying. Like when that was the case, I remember I got some watermelons one time, like cut up from out of the grocery store, and then I was riding with my brothers, and I was like, y'all want some watermelon? Feel me? And who I was riding with, Rima, I just seen the order come through. Rima's love. Who I was with, right? They was like, you eat watermelons with no seeds? He was like, man, don't you like you ain't heard about that? Like, I was like, yeah, I eat the watermelons with no seeds, right? So nobody ain't want the watermelons. It tripped me out. Nobody didn't want the watermelon. And so I was like, dang, that's crazy. And so probably like a month later, I was with the same person and in the Wendy's and was like, bro, you want something? I got you. I'm like, hold up. So you won't eat watermelons with no seeds, but you'll eat Wendy's though? I was like, bro, make it make sense. He busts out laughing. He's like, man, you might got a point. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I still eat GMO fruits and vegetables because it's the majority of them in the grocery store. Sometimes you can't find nothing organic in there. And even if and the other thing that's scary, but at the same time, I don't like to make it sound over because I feel like a lot of people are doing that and it's making it feel like they don't got no options that's going to be able to help them. Like, even the GMO fruits and vegetables, I eat them to this day. I love it and I kept it off. It'll be better if it was purely organic and all natural, no pesticides, and that would be the best, preferably. But we don't know what the process of this food go through unless we go to the farm ourselves. We don't know. And it's like 5%. Like 5% of the fruits and vegetables that are sold are tested. Like it ain't enough people to test all of these products to make sure they are what they say they are, in other words. So I don't get overly caught up in that, if that makes sense. Like, I'm going to eat some GMO fruits and vegetables before I eat McDonald's, I'll tell you that much. Are 3 books included in the bundle? Yes. It's 3 books and the journal. So you'll get the 3 books sent out in the mail ASAP. And then the journal, when we get it from overseas, which is going to be in 2 to 3 months, you'll get journal. But you'll also, in 2 to 3 weeks, have access into the Naturalite weight loss community. And we'll be in contact with you through email every step of the way. You feel me?
Books are only included in the complete bundle, the $199.
If you go directly to gonaturalite.com and you just get a book bundle, not the complete founders bundle, it doesn't include everything. That's just the books. If you get the complete founders bundle, that's when you'll get everything included with the new journal and access to the community. And that's the link my wife just in the chat, gonaturalite.com/founders. Everybody that joins now is going to be a founding member, and we're going to be the first group that take this thing off. You know what I mean? What else we got? Have you found relish in the store without chemicals? I actually did a video about that. Yes, it's called Pickle de Gallo, and I found it in Sprouts, and it's fire. But that's the only one. It's hard to find relish. We started making it from scratch. That's why I'm growing cucumbers. Kimberly Coleman, I just seen the order come through. Kimberly, welcome to the community. Can you do a live growing food? Someone say fruits and vegetables. Yeah, I do live. I've been showing it. I've been going live, and I do them. I'm gonna do it, man. I gotta go to help over 1 million people start growing food. It's really not that complicated. I feel like the necessities that we need to know, like cooking, how to choose natural food, growing food, is intentionally overcomplicated. Marshall Ryan, I just seen the order come through. Marshall, welcome to the community. This is the thing about it, right? It's like this. It's like the devil speak with a forked tongue. Like you can hide a truth. You can hide a lie with a truth. And then the lie actually be true at the same time. This is the game. These are the games that make things complicated. For example, like when you look at, for example, because someone was talking about, about growing food, but I feel like this is important to think about. Like, notice when you look at these ingredients and you see niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin. Oh, I'm showing the camera right there. I forgot I wasn't on camera. But when you see riboflavin in the ingredients, that's a B vitamin. So riboflavin is the scientific name for a specific type of B vitamin. And riboflavin in its natural form is in a potato. Riboflavin in its natural form is also inside human flesh. It's also inside pig guts. It's in a lot of things. But you can isolate the riboflavin from the potato, from the guts, from the human flesh. You can isolate it and bring it through a synthetic chemistry process and bring it down into a white powder form. And then using synthetic techniques, you could flip it over and over and over again. And now you have the synthetic riboflavin powder. But the natural riboflavin that's inside that potato and that synthetic riboflavin that was isolated from pig guts, got the same exact name. It's riboflavin. So then people could think, oh, well, that's just a scientific name for vitamin B. True, but it's also the scientific name for the synthetic riboflavin, and they don't have to tell you where they got it from. Chantel Lee, I just seen the order come through. Is love. Welcome to the community, man. Say, what's the fine print for the reoccurring $50 a month? I don't see it on the site. I'm just worried about how difficult it will be to stop the reoccurring. Reoccurring fee should I decide to no longer want it? Super simple process. Ken, could you answer that process? How like?
Just email our before the end of the 3 months and it doesn't occur.
Yeah, because what happened is if you do it after the third month, then it will cancel. You'll have that fourth month you already paid for, and then it'll cancel at that point.
Plenty of time to experience it.
Yeah. So you got plenty of time, and you might want to stay in there. That's what we want. We to lock in until they get their result. With the 3-month community access, renewal is automatically charged without our knowledge, or will there be a notice sent first? That's a good question. Is there a notice every time before the charge? Or is it just automated?
I don't know if it sends an email automatically or not. But I would say, again, if you don't want to, just send an email to support.
Yeah. So we'll know.
We'll see. We'll see if there's a notice. There might be.
Yeah. We'll figure that part out though, but we'll stay on top of that. What else?
What's the name of the chemicals that cause your stomach to
What's another one? I don't know that one by heart.
ask for more questions?
If anybody got any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. What was I gonna say? It was a point that I wanted to make. Oh yeah, this what I was gonna say with the community. I forgot to mention this. It just crossed my mind. So we got the it's gonna be an app where the community is going to be housed on. Quebec, I just seen the order come through. Welcome to the community. It's going to be an app. And so what happens, when you go into the app, into the portal, the weight loss community is super easy to navigate. And part of the portal is going to be videos that are educational. And so what I've done is I take, like I said, I created the Eat What You Love and Way Less Reprogram. Christine Fisher, I just seen the order come through. Is love. Welcome to the community. And when I took the last group of people through the 30-day process, Ellen was one of them. What was it? Ellen? Her name was Ellen, right? Ella. Bad. I knew it didn't sound right. Ella was one of those people that went through the process that lost the 13 pounds or something like that. And how the process is a coaching call every week. That's how the 30-day reprogram goes. And I'll be doing a coaching call every month with this community. I just seen the order come through, but I missed the name. But I'll be doing monthly coaching with this. But I recorded every coaching call that I took the last group through, right? So those Zoom recordings of that coach that I did once per week are going to be housed inside the platform. So people pay between $500 and $2,000 for the same exact 4-week coaching process that we guarantee results with. So you'll also have access to that as soon as we launch the app, which is going to be 2 to 3 weeks from now. So if you do join this, you'll have access to the monthly live coaching and Q&As that we're going to be doing. You're going to have access to the daily accountability, the journal, the actual platform where everybody's posting their accountability work and finding accountability partners and can ask the questions that they have. You have access to all that. That makes sense? Because I wanted to put something in the community where you could just go and watch coaching, because we got 4 weeks worth of coaching that's recorded. So it's the same thing as if you did it live. All the information right there, and you could go back and rewind it, watch it, whatever. All right? Is there any other things that I missed? Spring water versus alkaline water. That's a good question. I go spring. I go water unless it's naturally. Every once in a while you have natural alkaline, like spring sourced water, like because it's the amount of minerals in it actually alkaline, like on the pH scale. So I'll do that. But I encourage you to be aware with alkaline water and read the ingredients, because sometimes with alkaline water, they use synthetic chemicals in the water that dilute them into the water to make it turn alkaline on a pH scale. But it's not natural. So, for example, like it blew my mind when I learned if you squeeze a lemon into water, it's actually alkaline water on a pH scale. So you could just get some spring water and squeeze some lemon in it, and boom, natural water. You know what I mean? It's like that. It'd be the big pushes and the promotions that go out, like, and it got everybody saying alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. Dr. Sabi got everybody thinking about the alkaline, you know, and it's true. It's a lot of truth in it, but then you could also make something alkaline synthetically, and then that is not the same thing. Nelson Robinson, I just seen the order come through. Nelson, welcome to the community. What is a good pH scale? I don't know by heart, to be honest with you. Like, when it's that type of information, that's not really my lane. Like the health lane and like helping people to know the scientific specifics and all that. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not my lane. I like to make things simple. Like to sum it up, man, I'm a Naturalite. A Naturalite is aware of the tricks in the ingredients, and we avoiding the heavily processed foods and chemicals. That's it, man. We believe that nature, we believe the ingredients matter, and we want to see natural chemical-free food be the new American standard. So that's really my lane. Like the details about pH levels and all of that, that's not really my forte, you know? Because I feel like it's distractionary. Like, who are we going to sit there with go get the tester kit? And I didn't do none of that to lose 100 pounds, you know? The information on growing organically. I do. That's what my book is about. That's why I wrote, We Grow the More We See Everything We Need is Free. I talk about it I put a lot of free information up on our platforms, on all my pages. You know, I'm documenting my journey. I started really taking agriculture serious about 3 years ago. You know what I mean? I started in 2020 and dug my first garden in the ground 3 years ago. And now it's a lifelong journey. Pamela Owens, I seen the order come through. Welcome to the community. So that's what it is with that. You know what I mean? With growing, I'm just documenting the journey. Check my page. You can get the book. And then also, too, like you can go on YouTube. YouTube got so many videos. I talk about that in my book, of people growing food in your area successfully. And they got whole pages. So when I look up information, I look up, you know, successful gardening channels in Miami, growing natural food, bam. And then I go to the ones that's the most traction, and I look at them. If their garden look good and it's productive and they make sense when they talk, I do what they do. The majority of what I learned when it comes to gardening has been from YouTube, and then I just go and I apply it, and then I get the results. I learn from getting hands-on. That's the main thing. We got to get out here. That's why I'm always saying I'm learning as I grow. And that's all part of the Naturalite lifestyle. You know what I mean? Agriculture is a part of the lifestyle. This is a weight loss community, but this is what I'm doing. I'm doing my best to help minds get into back and centered about the reality that, look, agriculture is a key part of the equation. It just is. If it ain't enough of that, take the responsibility into our own hands. Because you know what I hear a lot? They trying to, man, they don't care about us in the grocery store, man. It ain't nothing good left to eat. I might as well eat what I want, man. It ain't nothing else we could do. If you ever heard that, drop a yes in the chat. If you ever heard that, drop a yes in the chat. It's like, dang, everything out here bad. What? It ain't nothing we could do. It's like it ain't no good options. And so then it's just like I might as well just eat whatever I want to. And so that, to me, that's the problem. Like, it's too many of us that have kind of just like feel like, oh, I don't got a green thumb. It ain't for me. You know, it's out of my control. And we need to be more of us that just say, you know what, I'm gonna just start growing, even if I start in pots in the house. I'm gonna start working with plants, and as my resources grow, my skill sets will grow. I'll be able to produce more. I'll be able to connect with more people, just one at a time. You'll be surprised just by starting with pots where you could be in 3 years from now. When I started growing back in 2020, I had no idea I'd have so many. You should see the garden in the back right now. Me and my wife just went to a resort for the last days. We just got back today, and our son been watering the garden, and it was rain. And before we left, I put some comfrey fertilizer on it, and the plants took off. They twice as big. The vines attached to the little trellis fence that I put up, and the green bean vines is crawling up the fence. The cucumber vines is crawling up the fence. In 3 days, I'm like, what the heck? They blew up. I never would have thought I'd be here. But that's what I'm saying about just taking one step at a time. It ain't that hard. But like I said, that's all part of the process, man. Let me see what it say here. And that's the thing, man. That's the Naturalite lifestyle is all about, man. It's the same with the goals, like just being able to identify the right processes and then staying consistent. And my whole thing is, once you know what to do, it's just holding yourself accountable. Some people are real disciplined and they're good at holding themselves accountable. And so I try to provide options, and what we're doing with Go Naturalite is providing options where you can get the information that you need and then take it from there. And also, there's other people that want to be in community environment and that like to see other people doing it and get that motivation and be able to tap into the community a couple times a day and seeing all these people being consistent and seeing them getting results, seeing their weight go from 250 down to 242, and then the next time you see it, you notice that down to 232 in 60 days, 90 days, and it just makes you want to keep on going. So that's why the community, you know what I mean? It's that accountability aspect of it, you know. And another thing, we're gonna be sending you notifications to make sure you do the journal, just for that reminder. Because sometimes up in our day to day and forget, you know. And so that day, if you forgot, you might have took it back. Where if you would have had a little reminder that same day, you would have took another step forward. And it's all just about taking one step at a time towards our goals, you know. That's all it is. If you overweight, you can lose the weight. It's just about taking a step in the right direction, one step at a time. What can we do to process out microplastics in water? That's not my specialty, man. And that's another thing. Like, that's a great question, but I've just been drinking water and plastic. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm sure there's a better option, but it's not that easy to find, and it's not that kind of like filter out microplastics and all of that. So I don't concern myself too much with it. I'm more so staying on track, keeping a natural lifestyle, and I've gotten the results of my weight going down and my energy going up. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And also, a major thing that happened from staying consistent with these principles is, and this is probably going to be the last thing that I say, a major thing that happened for me was, because I used to deal with depression and anxiety a lot, and emotional, like not being balanced emotionally. And when I made the switches that we went over on this live, and you know I talk about it in the book, and we'll continue to go over during the community and coaching and all that. From making these switches over time, probably like 3 years in of being consistent, I'll never forget when I look back and I realized, I was like, this was the last time I felt anxiety. When was the last time I was depressed? And I had to think back like almost a year. And I had to really try to figure like what happened, because I thought that I was dealing with anxiety and depression behind trauma that I went through growing up. When I cleaned up how I was eating, it went away. And so then I was like, really the only thing that I was doing different was I was eating different. And that's why, and then that's when I started to do more due diligence on potential side effects of these ingredients and potential benefits of the ingredients too. I looked up both. That's when I started kind of doing more due diligence, and then I started to see the common pattern. You had emotional ADHD as a potential side effect, depression as a potential side effect, anxiety as a potential side effect, suicidal thoughts. I was seeing all different type of headaches, migraine headaches, death, cancer, all type of potential side effects from chemicals, man.
Can you do 2 more questions?
Two more questions? All right, yeah.
How many pages are journal?
It's a 90-day journal. There's more than 90 pages because there's all type of beneficial information that's super simple to consume and to stay on course, but it's a 90-day process that we're going to go through together, everybody that grabbed the journal. And it's designed to where you could do it on your own, because people are just going to be buying the journal off the site just to get it and do it themselves. But yeah, it's a 90-day process. And I'm big into numbers, and why I want to do 90 days, why we settled on it, is because 9 is the number of completion. And for the last 30 days is enough to stay consistent and turn it into a lifestyle that's permanent. But 90 days, once you hit that number 9, in 90 days, there's a lot of information and what's the word, like research, how when you do something consistently for 90 days, the chances of you being consistent, like for it to be like a permanent habit, it like skyrocket when you hit that 90-day mark. So that's why we did the day journal. Jody Clayton, I just seen the order come through. Welcome to the community. We got one more question. About to get up out of here, man.
That's the last one, but she's been asked. She asked to answer it. Do you use water filters at home, and if you do, what kind?
We don't use the water filters. We don't use the water filter. I'm about to get a filter for the hose in the back door and try it out. I just got hit with a feedback. I just got flagged on TikTok. I don't even know why. But yeah, so with the water filters, I'm about to get a filter for the hose, and I'm going to just experiment with just a few plants and see if the plants grow good with the filter, with the hose, because it's a mission getting the rain. I've been getting rainwater and all that. So, but yeah, no, I don't really have good advice when it comes to filters. I just get spring water. That's what I've been doing. Not just the best thing, but that's what I've been doing. And I feel good. So my brothers and sisters, man.
Wait, can I order this after the live?
We have it up right now, man. We're gonna up until we hit 75, the cap of 75.
I say the full thing. They didn't hear my question.
So the question was what?
Can I order it after the live?
Can you order after? The question was, can I order after the live? Yes, have the app or the link up. Go naturalite.com/founder. I got that link in my profile picture on all my home pages, and it's in the chat. So you could save the link right now, or you can go to any of my social media pages. You'll see the link underneath my profile picture, and we'll have that available until we hit 75 people. All right, my brothers and sisters, if this live helped, drop a 4 in the chat, man. If you found it helpful, drop a 4 in the chat. If you agree with the Naturalite lifestyle, drop a 4 in the chat. And I would love for you to join the community, but if you don't, it's all love. What I really want for you to do is just to take on the mindset of choosing natural food options. That's what I want you, man. I want for it to be millions of us that start paying attention to these ingredients, choosing better options. So this way, when there's a bunch of us doing the same thing, the grocery stores have to change to accommodate us, because we're not going to buy the garbage. You get what I'm saying? When there's millions of us, they're not going to keep making money because we're not going to buy the heavily processed chemical options. My brothers and sisters, I hope this helped. Until the next time, prayers up, blessings up. And we up out of there. How do I get out of here? How do I shut it down? Bingo.
Nice, man. I thought it was for 100 and how many was that a month? It was 140, I think. My numbers might be wrong, but I figured about 20 people will purchase. But the numbers, they probably like 30 people slowly started.
Oh, I forgot I'm still on the live. All right, y'all. Prayers up. Let's I was about to go into details, but y'all was about to get some back. Let me get up out of here, man. Hope y'all got some use out of this. I was just thinking about the Zoom. I wasn't even thinking about the live. This is my first time doing it like this.